Well, a very, very good afternoon and a very warm welcome indeed to Sunday afternoon football here on the Central Coast. Plume Park, of course, is the venue for this, the latest instalment of the Battle of the Academies. Two sides with a rich and storied history at A-League level meet in the top flight of the state's competition here in round 20 of National Premier League men's action. Pete Pryor with you on the call. An absolute pleasure to have your company this afternoon, wherever it is in the world you may be watching from. Let's get to the team news because there is a bit of it to get through. We'll start with, of course, the starting 11 for the host this afternoon. The Mariners in goal. Number 1, Jack Wachowski. The number 2, operating at right back, will be Michael Paragalli. On the opposite side of defence there, number 5, Harry Menem. Number 3, Sherdeng, will be partnered at centre half by number 34, Parker Williams. Wearing the number 6 this afternoon, Jordan Small. The 8 and captain, Lucas Shikluna. The 10, Lucas Smythe. The 11, who was a hero last weekend, or last midweek, I should say, in fact, Don Neonguru. The 12, Tay Headley. And a return this afternoon for number 37, Bailey Brantman. Straight back into the starting 11 this week, Bailey Brantman, after his South American sojourn with the Australian under-20s. We'll bring you more on that a bit later this afternoon. For the Sky Blues this afternoon, making the relatively short trip up the F3 or the M1, whatever it's been called today. In goal, number 40, Alex Zabadinos. The number 3, Tyler Williams. The number 4, Joseph Kaljasic. The 7, Oscar Fryer. 8, Lockie Middleton. The 10, Tiago Quintal. 13, Jacob Brizette. The 22, and captain, Will Kennedy. The 24, back in the starting 11 this week, Wataru Kamijo. The 33, Matthias McAllister. And 34, Blake Bolwell. So an unchanged lineup for Jimmy Van Vuren's Chargers this afternoon. After their 3-1 victory midweek over Hills United. The Mariners also tasted victory themselves midweek in a different variety of the Battle of the Academies, a 5-3 goal fest over the Western Sydney Wanderers down at Wanderers Football Park. Referee this afternoon, Michael Weiner, assisted by Alexis Johnson and Amir Hilsnani. The fourth official, Jackson Mackey. The whistle blows and away we go as signalled by referee Michael Weiner. The Mariners getting us underway here in round 20 in their traditional yellow and navy strips. So many little mini narratives in this match as well. 3 points absolutely crucial for both sides this afternoon. Passing lane blocked off there by Small. Well stolen in by Parker Williams as well. Both sides, as we enter the final third of the season, find themselves entrapped, ensnared in a 3-way relegation dogfight. The other party to that, of course, Sutherland Sharks, pulling a point out of the fire last night down at Belmore. 1-1 draw against Sydney Olympic, scoring in the 96th minute. Mitchell Stamatellis from the spot. A win for the Mariners today, and 3 points would really put the cat amongst the pigeons in many ways. It would leave all three teams embroiled in that relegation dogfight on 14 points. It would also see the Mariners leapfrog both Sydney and Sutherland, thanks to their superior goal difference. I'm all for it. I love a bit of chaos. Let's see how this plays out over the next 90 or so minutes at Plume. Wachowski lofted in the direction of Lucas Smythe. Shikluna feeding off scraps and looking to play one in behind for Neon Kuru. Tyler Williams read it well. Here is Smythe. Rides the challenge very well. Finds the feet of Headley. Shikluna. Neon Kuru now. A couple of step overs as he works his way into the area. Taken off his toe, though, by Brazete. Brantman receives. Mariners will be very happy to welcome back Bailey Brantman today. I'm sure we can welcome to the stream as well his biggest fan, Auntie Suze, up in Queensland. Very warm welcome to Susie and the family up there, as I'm sure they're tuning in this afternoon. Sprayed wide out to that right-hand touchline. Neon Kuru slipped at the crucial moment. And then in his perhaps over-eagerness to win possession back, a bit of a scything challenge there from Neon Kuru, who's had an extremely lively season so far, has young Don Neon Kuru, making the move across from Adelaide, Croatia, in the South Australian NPL setup. Very highly rated. Bagged a brace midweek down in Western Sydney, and that's a pretty agricultural sort of challenge, really, against Lockie Middleton. "18-year-old Lockie Middleton straight back up to his feet. The Collaroy Chroma Strikers junior Lockie Middleton, and recently signed a 3-year pro deal with the Sky Blues as well. One of a few in this academy setup who are very, very bright prospects indeed. Here's Williams. He's another very highly rated youngster, only 16 years old. Tyler Williams. Came through the 13s and 14s and 15s, the junior age groups at Sydney FC. Making his first grade debut in round 1 and hasn't looked back. Wachowski. Captain Kennedy first to meet it, ahead of Neon Kuru. That's going to be a fascinating battle between those two as well, Neon Kuru and Will Kennedy. Menem. Heavy first touch from Harry Menem. Fry is able to pick up the scraps now. Camijo and Bolwell. Friars. Fryer had it taken off his toe by Smythe. Wins it immediately back though from Shikluna, and here's Tiago Quintal. Looking to show off his range of passing, which is very good indeed. Camijo. Back with Tyler Williams again. Kaljasic. Passing lane is blocked off by Sherdang. First to meet it. Finding the feet of Nankuru. Mariners might just look to try and settle into their rhythm here and play a bit of keep ball. Sydney FC have had the Lions' share of possession so far in the early exchanges. Smythe. Don Neonkuru. All the way back to Cherdang, indeed. The Mariners look to play keep ball here. Jordan Small now. Menem really using the full width of the pitch there, Harry Menem. Jordan Small now looking to drive inside. Here's Brantman skipping around a couple of challenges. Perhaps just took one touch too many. Well, he's thrown me off there as well, Bailey Brantman, because he wears the number 37 on his back, but he's wearing number 25 on his shorts. Meanwhile, here's Tiago Quintal. Bursting inside and shifting onto his left foot there, Tiago Quintal. That's a danger he possesses. On this, his 18th birthday, in fact, today, Tiago Quintal. How ideally would have loved a goal to celebrate there. Been in the Sydney FC Academy setup since he was 11 years old, Tiago Quintal, and is another one in the starting 11 here who had recently penned a pro deal, as this is given Wachowski a real sort of puzzle to figure out there. Oscar Fryer latching onto the through ball. You've got a player down in back play. Meanwhile, the Mariners look to play on. All the way back to Zavadinos. Sliced his clearance somewhat, and Tay Headley. Good use of the body. Blake Bolwell forced to turn that one into touch. Well, that was a real sort of puzzle for Jack Wachowski to figure out. Had to come a long way off his line, and then the ball seemingly backspinning off the turf, holding it up, hung in the air for an age. Did just about enough, the Mariners gloveman. That's using your head. Dang, and wide it goes to Neonkuru. Again, the Mariners just look to slow it down as they settle into a rhythm, and then Lucas Shikluna looking to speed it back up, perhaps a little too quick. So often the conductor in the engine room, Lucas Shikluna, wears the armband, really does lead by example as well. Wasn't one of those who found the score sheet on Wednesday down at Wanderers Football Park, but pulled the strings to great effect. As we said, Sydney FC coming into this one off the back of 3 points as well midweek on Tuesday night. Oscar Fryer with his first 2 goals of the season. Mateus McAllister also finding his way onto the score sheet. McAllister, perhaps a fairly familiar sort of surname to those Mariners faithful. His dad, Dylan McAllister, of course, spent some time on the Central Coast as well in the club's A-League setup. Neonkuru. Oh, that's a tidy-looking little flick to keep it in the field of play and find her teammates. With strength on show from Brantman. Fizzed in at the feet of Smythe, but couldn't really bring it under his grasp. Launched in long. Well, that's a Rory Delap-esque sort of launch in from that throw-in. Impressive on that far touchline. It's all come to naught in the end, though. Well, a fairly cagey sort of opening 12 and a half or so minutes here at Plume Park so far in this one. As you might expect, I guess. There are still plenty of points on offer throughout the remainder of the season, but neither side will want to leave it too late to try and hoist themselves out of both the automatic relegation spots and the relegation playoff spot. Of course, bottom spots will drop automatically to the League One men's competition next season. This one is swept out into the path of Don Neonkuru. Shikluna clipped in towards Lucas Smythe, and Menem was arriving late too. Defended by a combination of Williams and Kaljasic. Happy to watch that behind. Blake Bolwell there on scene as well. Zavadinos, no interest in playing out from the back here. Knotted down by Parker Williams, but Mariners trapped inside their own half for now. Here is Tiago Quintal. Final touch off Parker Williams there and into touch. This, of course, one of 3 matches being played this Sunday afternoon in round 20. Elsewhere, Rockdale Illendon currently hosting Manly United. That one still 0-0. At 3:30. The big one, Apia Lycas against Marconi. Well, I can bring you an update on that Rockdale game, actually. We've just had a goal, but for who? We'll bring you more on that as I find it out. Rockdale 1, Manly 0. It's Kennedy. Inside it goes. Neonkuru and Paragalli having to do some defending here. It's clipped in. I think the final touch was off Michael Paragalli indeed. So Sydney FC's first corner of the afternoon. Crowded penalty areas. This one's floated in towards Kennedy, and Fryer gets a touch on it as well. No real sort of threat on Jack Wachowski's goal. No Dylan Pereich-Cullen, of course, today for the Mariners. He's currently on annual leave, as is required by the terms of his scholarship contract. So the reserve goalkeeper, well, no Jaya Janovic either, as he's off with the Australia under-17 set up. So reserve goalkeeper this afternoon, Daniel Vickers. Meanwhile, here's Menem. Just on a different wavelength there to Tay Headley, and Fryer able to burst through. Paragalli again trying to shepherd his opponents away. Neonkuru, still they come. Here's Sydney FC with Middleton. And now Kennedy. Another sliding challenge out on that far touchline. It's Don Neonkuru, who's not shirking his defensive duties by any stretch of the imagination this afternoon. Wins a throw as well. Just back to that Mariners bench. It's probably the most stacked bench I've seen for the Mariners so far this season. The likes of Andre Parks, Nico Duarte, Sash Kazevsky as well, as he continues his rehab from that horrific ACL injury last season. He did make his comeback, of course, last time out at Plume, but he'll be hoping for a little more game time than he received on that night. He did find himself heading back to the sheds ahead of everyone else on the pitch. Is Cherdang, of course, running out the bench for the Mariners. Arthur De Lima and Prayag Tapa, both goal scorers as well midweek against the Wanderers, as was Nico Duarte as well. Plenty of options for Lucas Villela. Menem combining with Headley. Quintal unable to carry it forwards. Camijo has it taken away from him. The final touch is off Wataru Camijo in the end. Launched in by Menem. Might just pop out here for Shikluna. It does indeed. Menem, one touch to set himself, second touch to cross. Dealt with easily enough by the sky blue backline. Mariners will retain it though. Well, we can bring you an update on that Rockdale goal just a couple of minutes ago. It was Matthew Cordier who's given Rockdale the lead over Manly United. That would consolidate Rockdale's spot atop the table. Delightful looking ball into the path of Menem here. He's got Bolwell for company. Bolwell might have just about done enough. He has indeed. Menem just running out of real estate as that one runs over the byline. A point today for Sydney FC would be enough to lift them to 14th and out of the bottom two. As Menem rises over Fryer. Tay Headley. Small. No options on in front, so backwards it goes. Deng. Paragali. Shikluna wanted it. It wasn't forthcoming. Here's Deng. Shikluna will have it now. He's just sold his teammates out there. It was left a little bit short of Small. Here's Camijo. Cheeky little nutmeg on Parker Williams too, if you don't mind. Eventually cleared into touch, and Bolwell will come forward to resume hostilities. Tyler Williams just going across the back line. Now with Kaljasic. Forward it goes from Kennedy. McAllister. Couldn't quite get there. And just pumped all the way down the other end of the field. Zavadinos returning serve. Cherdang slipping at the crucial moments. And Quintal, he's turned it over. Smythe looking to play one in on the turn for Neon Kuru, who's making a real nuisance of himself against Will Kennedy. Illegally so, says Michael Weiner. Sydney FC very eager to get things on the move. McAllister v Deng. Paragali just shepherding his opponents out over the far touchline. Camijo sizing up the cross in towards Fryer, headed clear. Well, half clear anyway. It's going to come straight back in at them in the direction of McAllister. Cherdang first to it. Eventually the Mariners able to complete the clearance, but Zavadinos sending it high into the sky. Offside was Fryer. Sydney perhaps building into this one a little better than their opponents here. However, here's Neonkuru. Williams. Menem again offering width. Doesn't have the beating of Fryer though, and Fryer's done exceptionally well to keep it in the field of play as well. Here's Tyler Williams. Cheap turnover though, and here's Bailey Brandman advancing. Twisting and turning, but Tyler Williams wasn't buying what he was selling. Fantastic defending once again from the 16-year-old. Showing experience and composure and maturity beyond his years. Meanwhile, Cherdang under immense pressure from McAllister. Camijo nodded forward in the direction of Quintal. Again, Cherdang first on scene. Neonkuru with the little flick over the top intended for Smythe. And again, it's Williams. Tyler Williams. Jordan Small. Again, it's Menem. Again, the Mariners just trying to settle into some sort of rhythm. Paragali. Neonkuru. It's Paragali again. He was on sides. Shikluna. Forced to recycle. Paragali. And again back with Dang. Well, what's it going to take? The Mariners finding it difficult to break down the Sky Blues so far. This is better though. Here's Headley. Shifting onto his right, Headley. Maybe half thought about the shot. Finds Shikluna. Small. Smythe. Just doesn't quite break for them. Brantman stretching. Shikluna. And Small. Oh, it's a bit of a loose touch from Small though. Menem does well to retrieve it. Good use of the body from Harry Menem as well. Now Headley. Brantman clipped in towards Smythe, the former Sydney FC man. It's the first real decisive goal the Mariners have had in this one. Craning the neck muscles there, Lucas Smythe. Didn't quite get the direction required. The combination between Headley and Brantman was much better than what we've seen so far in the opening 26 or so minutes here at Bloom from the hosts. But still, we remain deadlocked. Neonkuru. Brantman couldn't bring it under his spell. The move breaking down, and immediately Sydney FC look to transition rapidly, perhaps too rapidly. McAllister just keeping Wachowski honest here. Forward in the direction of Headley. Bolwell was probably the favourite to win that aerially. Camijo bundled off it by Jordan Small, illegally so, says Michael Weiner. Arm was definitely raised a little bit there. Tyler Williams lofted forward in the direction of Fryer. All too close to Wachowski. Comfortable take for the Mariners gloveman. Small. Menem. It's a good challenge from Bolwell to get there ahead of Smythe. His opposite, number 34 now, Parker Williams. Continuing his strong injury comeback as well, Parker Williams, the former Western United Academy product. Really staking a strong claim to make that centre half position his own. Meanwhile, Sydney getting forward on that far touchline. Final touch, I think, was off Shikluna in the end. Sydney FC with another opportunity from the corner. Quintal moving across to take. Will be the outswinger from Tiago Quintal. Hoisted high and oh so deep, and oh too deep from Sydney FC's perspective. Fryer making a real nuisance of himself against Headley. No free kick forthcoming though. Mariners still retain it. Living dangerously though. Parker Williams has given it to his opposite, number 34 here, and Bolwell slaloming, holding it up and awaiting the supporting cast, which does arrive, and he'll have it back as well, Bolwell. Camijo just bursting through. Now is Tiago Quintal. Perhaps just took one touch too many. He's been in the A-League train-on squad this season, or this most recent season, I should say, of course, 23-24, Tiago Quintal. Also had a trial over in France with Lyon. Could he be the difference today? It's the Mariners now looking to advance through Menem. Into the channel it goes in the direction of Headley. And again, Tyler Williams, well, he's kept it in the field of play as well. Fryer. That's a bit of an aimless ball forward, though, from Bolwell. Shikluna. The space immediately closed down around him, and Sydney FC on the march once again with McAllister inside for Middleton. Wide it goes in the direction of Quintal, who's buzzing around everywhere at the moment. Middleton. Sherdang able to affect their clearance, but only momentarily. It's going to come straight back at them here. Bundled off it on the edge of the area. Was, of course, who else? Tiago Quintal. And Sydney are going to have another opportunity from the set piece in a very tantalising sort of position here. Michael Paragalli, the offender. Jack Wachowski will have to ensure he's got his wall set just so. Just having a look at who's standing over this one. Looks like it might be Matthias McAllister. It is indeed. McAllister's delivery goes straight for goal. Good save from Wachowski, who would have seen it fairly late. Swung in again by Camijo. McAllister was lurking at that back stick. Well, just having a look at the replay on the monitor here. It was struck at a rate of knots through the wall. Wachowski would have almost certainly been unsighted. Here's Bolwell for Sydney. Perhaps just doesn't have his radar set. Camijo feeding off scraps. Just dragging his shot wide, though. The two sides seemingly cancelling each other out somewhat so far in the opening half an hour here at Plume. So much so that Jack Wachowski is abandoning the Mariners' usual MO of playing out from the back here, sending all the short options forward. Didn't quite get the cleanest connection on it, though. Works out in a roundabout sort of way for the Mariners in any case. Small. And Parker Williams will just slow it down. Clipped forwards towards Headley, but again it's Bolwell. Fryer. Menem was touched tight and wins it in a very good challenge. They're forced all the way back to Wachowski, though. Parker Williams just inviting that half press from Quintal. Up the other end of the pitch, it's the other number 10, Lucas Smythe, with great strength on display. Paragalli. Shikluna. Uninterested by any of the options in front, going back to Deng and Small and Parker Williams again. Wide it goes again to Paragalli. Stayed forwards. Shikluna swung in towards the head of Smythe. Headed clear as far as Oscar Fryer. Jordan Small wins it back for the Mariners. Now Headley. Wants to drive at Bolwell here. He slips, has Headley. It is a fairly greasy sort of surface out there, and Quintal will pick it back up for Sydney. Yeah, Bolwell might have just played himself into a little bit of trouble here. Harry Menem with the challenge on Fryer to win it back for the Mariners as well. Cross on the turn, though. Wasn't quite the delivery that was required. Now Quintal, good use of the body from Small again. Mariners just growing into this one over the last 5 minutes or so. As Small with the raking crossfield ball out towards Nyonkuru, who was just unable to keep it in play on that occasion. Oh, so eager to win it back here against Kennedy. Williams read it well to get there ahead of Quintal. And Blake Bolwell wins it back for Sydney FC, but again, perhaps that radar just needs a little bit of calibration. Paragalli. Nyonkuru did well to keep it in play. We spoke about the strength of the Mariners bench, of course. Take nothing away from the options on Sydney's bench as well. The likes of Bailey Callaghan, Ayok Mo, Dylan Rose as well. all ready and willing replacements if called upon. Meanwhile, Sydney on the march again, and that's a fairly agricultural sort of challenge there from Parker Williams. First entrance into the referee's notebook this evening as well. It was Will Kennedy who was bursting through centrally. A great deal of danger as well. Just about found the pass to Fryer, but Parker Williams just a fraction of a second late. And Sydney again with the opportunity from the set piece. Couple of options, a meeting of the minds standing over this one. Quintal is the left-footed option. McAllister the right-footed option. Well, drawing another very good save out of Jack Wachowski in the end. Just watching back the replay on the monitor here at Plume. It was in fact Quintal who struck it. Nearly catching Wachowski up. Meanwhile, they come forward again through McAllister. Good save, Jack Wachowski. Certainly earning his keep today. That's the fourth shot on target so far from Sydney FC in this one. Wachowski very much equal to each and every one of them. Here's Headley. Smythe combining with Headley. Small. Again, that raking crossfield ball. All too much on it, though, in the direction of Neon Kuru. Will Kennedy happy to watch that into touch. Well, we said 3 points for the Mariners would create an absolutely fascinating scenario, leaving 3 points at the bottom of the table with, or 3 teams, I should say, my apologies, at the bottom with 14 points apiece. A point really does nothing for them, though. For Sydney, it would lift them out of the bottom 2 places, as we said. And personally, I want the cat amongst the pigeons. I want the chaos. As we tick towards half-time here at Plume. 5 or so minutes until the interval. Clipped in by Shikluna. It evaded just about everyone. Zavadinos was under immense pressure. Paragalli and Smythe and Brantman all putting themselves about. It's a fairly teasing sort of delivery from Shikluna. Zavadinos couldn't reach it. I think it was Brantman who affected the most pressure. Might have actually been Paragalli. Again, it's the numbers on the shorts that are causing absolute chaos here for the media team. Bailey Brantman wearing the 37 on his back, but the 25 on his shorts. And it looks like Paragalli's wearing 34 on his shorts, but number 2 on his back. I think someone needs to have a word to the kit man. Here's Smythe. Dang hoisting it forward towards Headley. Felt some contact there, but on we go. Brantman chested down to Small. This is better from the Mariners. Lucas Smythe now. Didn't have the beating of Bolwell. Here is Quintal. Bursting forward, felt the arm around the shoulder there from Shikluna. And a couple of questions being asked as to whether that should perhaps be a yellow card there. Shikluna dragging back the number 10. As we said, Quintal turns 18 today. He's back on the ball here as well, shifting onto his left. Bolwell. Well, all the passing lanes evaporated. Mariners able to clear their lines, but only as far as Williams and then Kennedy towards Brazete. We do have a Sydney FC player down. I think it might be that man, Jacob Brazete, who's going to need a bit of treatment here. Challenge. Perhaps just taking the wind out of Sydney's number 13. He's back up and about, which is good news for the Sky Blues. And on we go. Hoisted in towards McAllister. Paragalli wins it. Kaljasic collects the clearance, but turns it straight into touch himself. Shikluna. Slaloming. Brantman. Hell, Harry Menem thought the pass might have just been left a little bit short there. And it evades both he and Oscar Fryer. Into the final minutes of regulation time for the first half of this one here at Plume. Possession just thrown away by Sydney there, quite literally. Paragalli. Kaljasic rising. Neon Kuru collecting. And then slipping. Quintal, again, looking to show off that range of passing. Paragalli read it well. Brantman. Inside it goes for Headley. Little shirt pull there from Quintal. Headley continues. Smythe receives. Smythe shoots and drags it just wide. Mariners looking to close out the half. Perhaps the brighter of the two sides as we tick through the final seconds of that regulation 45. Well, the fourth official hasn't raised the board yet, but I can see the board on the ground on the sideline there. Well, it had 4 minutes on it, but Michael Weiner says that'll do for the first stanza of this one here at Plume Park. No time to be added on in this one, as one might expect. No real sort of stoppages causing any real sort of delays. A half of perhaps very few, if any, clear-cut sort of chances between these two academy sides. We're off to a short break here on the Central Coast, though. Make sure that you join us back here in about 15 or so minutes' time. Well, a very warm welcome back to the Central Coast here, Plume Park, for round 20 of the New South Wales NPL men's competition. In this, the latest instalment of the Battle of the Academies between the Central Coast Mariners and Sydney FC. Neither side able to break the deadlock in this one just yet. Still 45 minutes of football to come. It has been cagey in parts, with flashes of potential. Sydney FC get us back underway for the second stanza of this one. Doesn't look like any changes from either side at half-time. We will remain just so. Shikluna battling Fryer. Tyler Williams able to retrieve it. Neonkuru looking to flick one around the corner for Brantman. Here's Brazete. Can't maintain possession though. Paragali for the Mariners. Wachowski hoisting it long. Kennedy initially missed his header. Gave just half an opportunity for Neonkuru to get in behind there. In all fairness to Don Neonkuru as well, for much of this season, half an opportunity is all he's needed. Last count he'd won, I think it was 9 penalties for the season. He converted one of the penalties that he won as well midweek in that 5-3 win over the Wanderers. His 5th goal of the season. It's Paragali. Small, bundled off it by Lockie Middleton, and Brazete looking to drift inside as he loves to do. He's also bundled off it, so Sydney FC at the first free kick of the second half here. Well, Camijo was originally looking to take. Quintal came across, but leaves it for Camijo in the end. So clipped into the area from Watiro Camijo into the direction of McAllister. Back to goal. Looking to get his shot away. And it should... Eventually, I should say, I'll get that out eventually myself. Does get his shot away, but it was blocked. Just delayed and perhaps delayed once too many. Menem. Oh, he's called his goalkeeper off his line. Miscommunication perhaps from Menem. The ball did look like it was going to carry all the way through to Jack Wachowski in the end, who came out to claim, and then Harry Menem, somewhat inexplicably taking it away from his goalkeeper. The Mariners survive once again, though. Brantman all the way back to Wachowski. Nodded on by Menem. It's a rare mistake, in fairness, for the young fullback. In his breakout season in the NPL first grade setup. Usually unerring. It's been a mainstay on the left side of Lucas Valela's defence. Will Kennedy, Captain Kennedy. Back it goes for Williams. Turned over though by Tyler Williams. Straight at the feet of Bailey Brantman, who tried to dance through the middle of the park. Couldn't retain it though. Paragali will pick it back up. Jordan Small, it's a clever touch to evade the attention of Matthias McAllister. Paragali forced back to Wachowski. Small. It's a heavy first touch from Jordan Small, a little bit loose in a dangerous sort of area as well. The Mariners looking to play out from the back, managing to avoid an instance of when playing it out of the back goes wrong. Jack Wachowski now showing no interest in playing out from the back. Flicked on by Smythe. Small. Shikluna. Dang and Paragali now. Looking to link up with Neonkuru. Smythe. Good strength again to ride a couple of challenges. Here's Don Neonkuru. Looking to drive into the area, Neonkuru. Feeling the contact and going down. Michael Weiner uninterested. Brazette, well, he's turned it over fairly cheaply. Here's Small. Headley combining with Bailey Brantman. Shikluna with the spin. And then with the foul. Michael Weiner says that's 1, 2, 3. And takes his name into the book as well. Well, it was building nicely there for a moment there for the Mariners. Bailey Brantman was looking to get a sighted goal. Maybe just caught in two minds as to whether to lay it off for Lucas Smythe or take the shot on himself. On we go. That's inventive on the flick there from Matthias McAllister. Brazette. Again, trying to drift inside. It all closed in around him very quickly indeed. Shikluna able to clear. Only as far as Kaljasic though. Kamijo. Crossfield. Straight into the feet of Fryer. Drifts inside. Eventually able to get the shot away on his left. It was blocked off once again. Kamijo looking to turn around the challenge of Lucas Smythe, and he might find himself in the notebook. Well, no, just a ticking off on this occasion for Lucas Smythe. Well, it's all getting a little bit scrappy out there. As we said, there's been moments, flashes of potential. Kamijo hoisting this one into the area. It should be comfortable for Wachowski, and is. Rolled out straight to the feet of Small, who in turn clips it out to the far touch line for Menem. Oh, that's a good little flick as well from Lucas Smythe to find Tay Headley. Menem, first time ball straight to Lucas Smythe. And it's an excellent block at the end of it. Well, that's better from the home side. Wonderful interplay between Smythe, Headley and Menem as well, all involved. Lucas Smythe found himself in a bit of a pocket of space, but it was very well blocked off by Kaljasic. They'll have the corner for their troubles, though, the Mariners. Hoisted in, very deep. Cherdeng nods it back across the face. Neonkuru! It's a good save. At the near post from Alex Zavadinos. And after a moment's consideration, Michael Weiner does point to the corner. Well, this game perhaps just sparking into life somewhat. Shikluna across to take the set piece again for the second time in quick succession. A packed 6-yard box. Big timber forward, including Deng. Paragali. This one is high towards Deng. Headed half clear by Kaljasic. Paragali with a bit of an air swing. And eventually Sydney able to clear their lines. Mariners immediately return serve. It's a handy-looking ball in to find Lucas Smythe. A delightful ball from Harry Menem. In fact, Lucas Smythe rifling one towards goal, drawing yet again a very good save out of Alex Stavridinos. 17-year-old Gloveman. That's his turn to earn his keep now after Jack Wachowski's heroics in the first stanza for the Mariners. Corner taken quickly. Shikluna. Headed towards goal by Paragali. Rising is Neon Kuru. He perhaps isn't the target man that you might expect in such a situation. Now Sydney rapid in transition and perhaps too quick. Brantman dropping deep to get some time on the ball. Headley. Smythe running out of real estate, but only due to the contact through the back. So Michael Weiner spots it and awards the free kick for the hosts. Time for the coaches to think about going to their bench potentially. Well, yes, indeed. First change of the afternoon for Sydney FC. Jacob Brazete, a left-sided midfielder, will take his leave for the afternoon. Pearson Kasawaya on to replace. Brantman gets us back underway, driven in towards a few rising there and eventually bundled home, but the flag was up. Paragali was able to knot it down. And Smythe was able to bundle it into the back of the net eventually, but illegally so. Assistant referee Alexis Johnston on this near side. Flicked on by Lockie Middleton. Deng missed it. Now Matthias McAllister bundled off it. And then in turn, Lucas Shikluna bundled off it. McAllister, my apologies, Middleton delaying Shikluna's intention to take the resulting free kick quickly. Deng has taken it all too quickly and Sydney with a golden opportunity. It is Tiago Quintal on his 18th birthday who's broken the deadlock here at Plume. And it's a horror show for the Mariners. Deng took the free kick too quickly. Parker Williams sold short. Tiago Quintal able to pounce. And Sydney, the celebrations are on. Well, what a birthday present for Tiago Quintal. Perhaps couldn't have been presented with a much easier opportunity. Deng immediately had his head in his hands. He knew exactly what had happened. He'll have to pick himself up quickly. It's a cruel game, football. The Mariners had clawed their way into this one. It did feel like they perhaps had the momentum. How quickly things can turn. Well, they went behind on Wednesday night. Down at Western Sydney did the Mariners. Sparking an impressive fight back though. And they'll have to do it again the hard way here if they are to get anything out of this one. But it's Fryer. Lively. Beats 1, 2, 3 and 4. Doesn't have the beating of the fifth, wearing number 2, Michael Paragalli, and now it's Tay Headley's turn to stride forwards. Has support in the form of Harry Medham. Medham did well to keep it in the field of play, but couldn't find Lucas Smythe, and it's end-to-end stuff now. How's the back heel from Quintal, linking up with Fryer. Quintal will have it back. Twisting and turning one way and the other, Tiago Quintal, and Parker Williams has had just about enough of that. They just recycle here through Camijo. Clipped in towards Kasawaya. Both he and Paragalli had a handful of each other's shirts and neither unable to make any meaningful contact on the ball. So we're going to see a couple of changes here for the Mariners. Tay Headley will take his leave for the afternoon. And we're going to see Sash Kazevsky as he looks to continue his return from that ACL injury suffered here last season. Pretty handy player to be able to bring off the bench. He replaces Michael Paragalli, so a like-for-like change at right back for the Mariners. We'll bring you confirmation of Tay Headley's replacement very shortly, as well as this one falls for Lucas Smythe. Smythe just a little too forceful in his contact. The other change, of course, Arthur De Lima coming on to replace Tay Headley. Scored midweek, did De Lima. His first goal in the first grades NPL system. After making the move down from Brisbane Raw, very highly regarded young prospect is Arthur De Lima. Fryer tussling with Medham. Medham just about wins out. Well, no. Michael Weiner indicating the throw in favour of Sydney. Another couple of changes for Sydney FC as well. Wataru Kamijo will take his leave for the afternoon, replaced by Dylan Rose. Just having a look if it was one or two changes. Meanwhile, Sydney get us back underway. Chur Deng heading clear and then volleying clear as well in turn. Advantage indicated by Michael Weiner. Kennedy pegged back. Forced all the way back to Joseph Kaljasic. Lockie Middleton. In fact, my apologies, that was Dylan Rose. Regardless, the Mariners will retrieve it. Floated in towards the head of Neon Kuru. Zavadinos initially spilt it. Able to gather it at the second attempt there. Chur Deng rising above Matthias McAllister. Here is Middleton. Kennedy forced back to Don Neon Kuru, I should say. Zavadinos again just slicing his clearance out. First touch for Sash Kazevsky will be to get us back underway via throw-in. Parker Williams looking to spray one out on that far touchline and release Harry Medham. It's all too far ahead of Medham. He is quick, but not quite that quick. Zavadinos happy to watch that behind. Deng again rising. Kennedy Kasawaya, well, it's a good challenge from Kazevsky, who in turn finds Small. Shikluna spraying one out in the direction of De Lima. He's just left a little bit short of Arthur De Lima, though. We can bring you news from elsewhere in just a moment as well. We've had a couple of developments in the other two games that are being played at the moment. Mateus McAllister, though, with a nutmeg on Small. And has the beating of Shikluna in turn as well. Doesn't have the beating of De Lima, though. Here's De Lima picking up the return pass as well. Couple to aim for in the area. Wanted to go himself, though. He was blocked off. We can bring you that update from Rockdale now. 61 minutes gone. And guess who? Alek Urushevsky has picked himself up a double. It's 3-0 in favour of Rockdale there. We've just had another goal as well. That's Apia. Marconi leading by 2-0. Marko Jesic put them ahead about 5 minutes ago, and they've just added a second. And our focus remains firmly here at Plume Park. Sydney FC with a solitary goal advantage over the Mariners, and they might just make it two. Fryer looking to slide one in behind for McAllister. And Harry Menem, speaking of sliding, is none too happy with Oscar Fryer's desperate sliding challenge there as well. Felt it was needless. A couple of little afters between the two of them as well. Nothing really in it. And the Mariners have it all to do. About 25 or so minutes to go here at Plume. Neonkuru trying to flick one around the corner. Kuzevsky will pick up the loose ball. Neonkuru. Good header as well. Lucas Smythe. It's a fantastic save once again by Alex Zavadinos. The 17-year-old ensuring his goal remains intact. Keeping his side ahead here on the coast. It's a brilliant save from point-blank range as well. Clearance was in turn completed by Tyler Williams, I think. Kuzevsky hoisting one forwards. It's just a bit too far ahead of Lucas Smythe. Zavadinos happy to invite Smythe forwards. Take out a few additional valuable seconds. Again, Cher Deng winning that in the air. Jordan Small couldn't quite bring it into his grasp though, and Kuzevsky shepherding it back to Jack Wachowski. The ball never really arrived in the area though, and Wachowski is forced just to play that one straight out into touch. Safety first from the goalkeeper. Will Kennedy hoisting one into the area. Again, it's Cherdeng rising to meet it. Here's Middleton, though. The deflected cross as well from Kasawaya. Off the legs of Kazevsky. It took most of the sting out of it. There's a slip, I think, from Shikluna. There's been no shortage of rain over the last week or so on the Central Coast, of course, leading to a fairly greasy surface. That should be handball, and is. It's a good challenge from Kuzevsky, who's smart in playing on there. Kasawaya felt he was fouled. Michael Weiner was having none of it. Cherdang, well, no options in front. All the way back to Wachowski. McAllister couldn't quite reel it in. Shikluna looking to release Neonkuru. Again, comfortable for Zavadinos. Oh, he wants to get things on the move quickly here via Will Kennedy. And a tussle between he and Bailey Brantman. Couple of little afters here as well. Michael Weiner says, I pinged you there, there and there. That's enough from you. And Bailey Brantman will find himself in the book. Well, Sydney, of course, in no real rush to take the restart. I think we're going to see a change here as well. Well, that will be the final action from Bailey Brantman this afternoon. He takes his leave. Replaced by number 9, Nico Duarte. Another goal scorer last week down at Western Sydney. Comfortable win that for Shikluna. They can't retain possession though, the Mariners. Kozewski certainly feeling that Kasawaya went down too easily there. Referee Michael Weiner agrees. Parker Williams, well, his opposite number 34, able to pick up on that. And now here's Quintal from range. Looking to add his second of the afternoon. Jack Wachowski unable to hold it. It certainly came at him again at a rate of knots, skipping and skimming off the really greasy surface here at Plume. Sash Kozewski taking no chances with the clearance. Quintal across to take the corner. Swung out and deep. Headed back in and claimed comfortably by Wachowski. Kozewski is the wide outlet. Forward it goes towards Nyonkuru. Well, didn't quite have the direction required on that occasion. Will Kennedy again launching one forward. Final touch is indeed off McAllister. Kozewski is eager to get things back on the move, finding Smythe. Smythe just finding touch. Cherdang nodding it forward, easy for Dylan Rose to pick up on it, and it's a good ball into the channel. Well, I thought for a second Matthias McAllister had just snuck in behind there. Perhaps wasn't quite expecting it though. Wachowski might just look to launch this one long.
Close enough, Macca.
Does indeed. Towards DeLima. Blake Bolwell gets there over and above DeLima. Mariners get us back on the move now with Shikluna. Kozewski doesn't have the beating of Kasawaya though. He's got some defending to do now as well as Kasawaya looks to burst forward. Oh, well, it's a fantastic recovery from Sash Kozewski there. Dylan Rose now though for Sydney. Middleton. It's all getting a bit scrappy again. Nico Duarte able to find Menem. DeLima nods it forward in the direction of Smythe. Dang. DeLima. Duarte combining with Smythe. Menem. Hoisted centrally, but it's a bit of an aimless ball into the area, really. No one wearing yellow attacking it. Shikluna nods it forward again. Cherdang, well, he's won just about everything in the air today. Kasawaya. tussling here with Don Neonkuru. Still Don Neonkuru just chopping away and winning possession back. Has the nutmeg as well, but he's given it straight away to Kennedy. Hooked over the top by Quintal. Menem will just watch that behind. Time is against the Mariners here. It's really a 6 points of this for both sides. Fryer. Quintal. It's a good recovering challenge from Menem, but Fryer will pick it back up. Driven into the area. Cleared by Parker Williams eventually. Lucas Smythe wants the free kick for the contact from Tyler Williams, and he'll get it as well. We're going to see another couple of changes coming up here for Sydney FC as well. I think Matthias McAllister is going to take his leave for the evening. Oscar Fryer, the other to depart. Bring you confirmation of their replacements in just a moment. It looks like one of them will be Ayok Mo. And Bailey Callahan as well. Sydney look to freeze this one out, driven in by Smythe. Well, let there be light. Someone in the ground staff here has flicked the switch as the Mariners look to flip the script here. Not like that, they won't though. De Lima sliding. Parker Williams retrieving. Kozewski. No options in front. Jordan Small. Shikluna. Swung wide to Menem. Hung up high and deep. Zavadinos punching. Kasawaya taking no chances with the clearance. Headed behind. He knew Don Neonkuru was lurking. The Mariners will have a set piece here. Set piece opportunity, I should say, from the corner. Shikluna across to take. Well, in fact, it might be Neonkuru to take. It is indeed. Corner taken short. Swung in by Shikluna. Headed half clear. Now Ayok Mo will carry it forwards. Parker Williams not allowing him to advance. They do manage to dig it out eventually though, Sydney. It's a good sliding challenge to break up the attack though, just as it was starting to look quite dangerous. It's been a real grind from both sides here today. Quintal. Here's the difference. He's given away the free kick though, Thiago Quintal. If it stands, we'll have double reason to celebrate, of course. Thiago Quintal, we did mention today his 18th birthday. He's the difference between these two sides here at Plume. Menem. Dang. Kozewski wants it on this near touch line. Parker Williams, well, he just swung the big right boot at it. Nearly turned it over in the end. The Mariners will have the free kick though. The challenge from Ayok Mo on Harry Menem. Fairly agricultural. Harry Medham down on his haunches actually on that far touch line as well. I think he might be feeling the after effects of that challenge as well. Well, no histrionics that followed though. The Mariners understand the urgency of the assignment that's in front of them. Small, Leon Kuru just left it behind. Cherdeng coming across to offer some covering defence to great effect as well. Now Kuzevsky, Don Leon Kuru wants to skip his way inside, trying to pick the lock there. Couldn't quite find the feet of Kuzevsky. Now Sydney look to return serve through Quintal. Kasawaya sizing up the cross. Perhaps didn't get the connection that he really wanted on that. Might get a second bite at it. Receives it from Rose, and now Quintal. Riding a couple of challenges here is Quintal. Kuzevsky is touch tight. Might have done just about enough there as well. Kuzevsky wants to release Leon Kuru. Instead, it's Smythe coming across. And now Shikluna sweeping one out to the far touch line for DeLima. And now Medham. Still coming here, the Mariners. Medham cut back. It'll pop out, I think, for Shikluna. And Duarte. Jordan Small stepping in. This won't quite find touch. Kennedy finding Quintal, and now Rose. Just on a different wavelength there. It's effective pressure once again from Kuzevsky. Leon Kuru. Shepherding that one out of play, Leon Kuru. Dang. Lucas Villela wants Harry Medham higher up the pitch. Here's DeLima. Trying to find a little pocket of space there, DeLima. Eventually, crossfield ball for Kuzevsky. Well, Jordan Small was looking for the 1-2 with Kuzevsky. Kuzevsky's run was blocked. And into the final 7 or so minutes of this one here at Bloom. Deng. Flicked on by Duarte into the path of Lucas Smythe, the former Sky Blue. The Mariners have been, well, politely knocking on the door. They're going to have to go up a gear if they're to burst it down, though. Shikluna to swing this one in towards the head of Deng. A couple rising there. Headed back across the face as well. The strike at the end of it is brilliant! It's Parker Williams! His first goal of the NPL season. And it's come at an absolutely crucial juncture for the Mariners. He doesn't score many, but I'll tell you what, when he does, they're pretty spectacular. It's on his non-favoured right foot as well, if you don't mind. And we're all square, one apiece here at Bloom. Still about 5 or so minutes to go. Plus any time added on. Leon Kuru linking up with Kuzevsky, who bursts forward now. Kuzevsky still striding forward centrally. He's beaten 1, 2, 3 and 4. Works his way into the area now, onto his left foot. Decent delivery as well! And I'll tell you what, that's not far away. I think it was Nico Duarte on the end of it. Brilliant work in the lead-up from Sash Kuzevsky. That's the sort of impotence that the Mariners have sort of been lacking. Kuzevsky just really grabbing that one by the horns, taking matters into his own hands. He's really, in some ways, the elder statesman of this Mariners Academy side now is Sash Kuzevsky. Oh, how's the confidence from Parker Williams? Of course, goal scorer just moments ago, and it's not a bad ball to find Neon Kuru, who manages to burst his way into the area. Still going is Neon Kuru. Clipped in towards the back stick. Cross didn't quite have the direction required. Harry Menem just conceding the free kick in his eagerness to win the ball back. Oh, we're set up for a pretty grandstand final few minutes here at Bloom. Cher Deng, good use of the body to just shepherd that one behind. We're no strangers to late drama here on the coast, of course. As Wyshorski drives this one over halfway. Looks like Lucas Smythe might have lost it for a second. De Lima able to recover it. And he's dragged down as well after De Lima. Michael Weiner, good refereeing just to see if any advantage would ensue. It did not. And the Mariners seemingly with the momentum now. Kuzevsky across to take the set piece. It's been a while since we've seen a set piece delivery from Kuzevsky. Plenty in the area to aim for. Swung in by Kuzevsky towards the near post. Sydney relatively easily able to deal with it in the end. Sydney work it out onto the left. Once again with Kasawaya. Looks to isolate Kuzevsky. It's a dangerous ball as well. The cross from Kasawaya took a big deflection off Sash Kuzevsky. Arriving late was Bailey Callahan. I'll tell you what, that was not far away at all. Hearts in mouths all over the place here at Plume. Such a crucial fixture for both sides. Kasawaya again has been so lively since he come on. Once again, Kuzevsky. Sliding challenge from Kuzevsky. Kasawaya able to just about ride the challenge. Kennedy, into the channel it goes for Tiago Quintal. Good challenge from Cher Deng. Well, Don Neonkuru asking the question there. On we go with Rose. Mo. One-on-one with De Lima. Oh, it's not bad from Arthur De Lima, you know, and he's won the free kick as well. Lucas Villela barking instructions. It's his fullbacks. He wants both Kuzevsky and Harry Menem playing higher, offering a bit more width as well. It's a double-edged sword, really. We're through the regulation 90 here at Plume Park. We're going to see 3 minutes of time added on. 3 minutes for either side to perhaps find a winner here. Hooked around the corner by Small. Kuzevsky. Kasawaya will pick it up for Sydney. And now Middleton. Rose. Building well this. Well, it's broken down. Curse of the commentator, perhaps. Jordan Small retrieving it for the Mariners. Neon Kuru looking to flick one around the corner. You can't look away for a second. Kasawaya. Middleton. Kennedy. No way forwards for Kennedy, so back with Kaljasic. Tyler Williams. Mo. Middleton. Kasawaya into the area. Sliding challenge from Kuzevsky is expertly timed. Neon Kuru with the inventive little flick as well to free himself. Couldn't quite retain possession though. Rose. A shove in the back there from Quintal on Cherdeng. Pleads his innocence, but it was two hands in the back there from Tiago Quintal. I don't think he's got much of a case there, really, in all fairness. Wachowski to drive this one forwards. Headed straight back out, and Quintal is looking to race onto the end of the clearance. Bundled off it by Parker Williams, who scored the equaliser for the Mariners. An unlikely source, perhaps. Kasawaya. Kennedy. Into the channel it goes. Well marshalled by Shikluna. Into the final minutes. Here at Plume of the additional 3. Still unable to separate these two sides. Flicked on by Smythe. Jordan Small tussling with Mo. Perhaps one last roll of the dice here for the Mariners. De Lima just left it for Duarte. Couldn't quite free his feet. And that will be that here at Plume Park. It's a point apiece for these two academy sides. A goal from Tiago Quintal. Cancelled out by the Mariners' Parker Williams. And what's been a fairly interesting sort of tactical battle between these two sides. For the first stanza, they did cancel each other out for most of it, and it was cagey in parts. But they'll have to settle for a share of the spoils here. For Sydney FC, it does lift them into 14th and out of the relegation zone. The Mariners, well, every point matters in their search for survival. Still anchored to the foot of the table, though. 3 points from safety, 2 points behind Sutherland, who are currently in 15th. The Mariners' next fixture on the 21st of June will be down at Cromer Park against Manly United. For Sydney FC, they've got another battle of the academies coming up themselves on the 22nd of June against the Wanderers Academy. But from all of us here at Plume Park, I hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have enjoyed calling it. From myself, Pete Pryor, and cameraman Steve Roberts, it's bye for now.